Okay, for the benefit of this video, I'm just showing the recently constructed Hobbies Arrow boat, and so this is one which is called the Spirit of Freesteam. Get it right in a moment, and I'm going to basically give it a steaming in a minute just to check the engine's working fine. The ME1 that I put in this particular boat has only been steamed twice before. I actually bought it as a new old stock engine, so basically it had never been steamed when I first had it. And I'm just going to sort of give it a run to make sure everything is okay, but also for the benefit of Freesteam's second birthday, I thought it'd be nice just to actually see the engine running in the boat itself. The actual vessel still needs to have its outer skin, so to speak, of oil-based varnish put on there. I've been allowing the paint a few months now to harden, and basically so that it'll be fairly robust when it does eventually go into the water. I'll sort of take you through some parts of the engine, or the boat itself rather. This particular clip here undoes. There's a small nut there. Underneath here I've got the forward sort of ballast made up of lead and so on. And when we come to the compartment itself, or the engine compartment, see it's quite tight actually fitting the lamp in. It does go in okay, and it fits in underneath. One of the main problems using the ME3 or the ME1 engine is that because of the base plate fits almost the entire length of the engine compartment, you're limited to how you actually can fit it together. The particular bulkhead here has had to be moved forward to the bow in order to allow me sufficient room to get the lamp in and out. I did not want to sort of change the base plate by cutting it too much. I've cut a small amount off either side here to get it in to the actual boat itself, or the actual hull. You can see from the profile of this one, it's a lot narrower at the back. I wanted something that was just a little bit different from the actual bog standard Arrow plans, and sort of decided to sort of give this a try. It's got no radio control, no clever arse stuff like that. I don't want it. I'm not interested in it. I want basically a pond steamer, which is as they would be in the 1920s, 1930s, with none of the clever modern day clutter and extra weight put onto there. So basically the rudder will turn, obviously it has to turn, but this is being pushed down so it's tight on the actual spindle, so basically it will hold. You set it to a certain position and it will actually stay there. Running through, you can see the exhaust coming through into a small brass pipe where I've filed the end down. I expect that to leak a bit. I'm probably going to have to put another seal or something over the top of it, like a sleeve, but basically then it's coming through to the back and the exhaust at the end. I've got eyelets here, front and also front and rear, so basically if I've got it on a really big piece of stretch of water, I could in theory attach it to a very long string just in case things get into trouble. Now this is an earlier ME1 engine, and you can see that it's actually got here the little cup oil which unscrews. Some of them did have the Rotherham's type flip top one, which I've got on the actual ME2. That will be going into my third and last boat, but that's a little way off yet, because obviously I'm still building the boat based around the ME3 engine, which is presenting one or two problems in terms of the rear drive shaft and so on. Basically then, when the lamp is actually lit on this one, we pop them in like that. I've got to be careful I don't spill mess everywhere. We've got a separate little panel then that I've built, a slot in the bottom that pops into there and basically keeps the lamp in position, just in case things get a little bit choppy out there. The engine itself is, say, bog standard ME1 engine. You can see those little silver packages either side. Those are that's the lead ballast, which I've tightly wrapped up in tin foil so they can be taken out and removed if need be. The whole engine itself is secured by 2 screws here, 2 screws here, and I've set the decking so that basically the engine can be then extracted should I need to do some work on it. So overall, I say it's very much sort of a deviation from the original Arrow's plans. but sort of one that I just fancy just making, giving the engine a little bit more of an individual look and a feel. And I've seen one or two other excellent Hobbies arrows out there, and everyone seems to have got their own little slant on it. Obviously the biggest change you can make is depending on the power unit you use. You'll notice, you know, from the pictures you'll see on the forum, that the my second boat, Marion, which is based around the ME3, is basically as is the plans for that Hobbies have actually made, apart from, again, to accommodate space for the lamp to get in and out. I've had to move the forward bulkheads more towards the bow. So there you have it. Really, it's quite a simple engine. It's quite heavy actually. It's probably about 6 or 7 pounds in weight. It's probably a little heavier than an actual steam wagon. Basically, I also wanted to change it and use a brass cowl on the front. This one I've actually formed from old brass jackets that I've got from a printing press, and then it's been shaped around with a wooden mallet around a bicycle frame to give me the right sort of curvature. And then finally, the rear sort of spray deck, you can see the profile on that is a lot narrower than the standard Arrow rear spray deck, and you'll see the difference when this one is alongside the partially built ME3 based engine. So there you have it. There is my initial Arrow. It's my first build. It's taken me 2 years doing it off and on, and hopefully once the hull is properly sealed in, we will have this one running hopefully at Steam Toys in Action next year, and if it passes its sea trials in the Bath, maybe on one of the ponds outside Plymouth Civic Centre. You know, I will no doubt post up videos as and when it's ready. But what I'm going to do now is just run the engine over, because it is very, very stiff at the moment, and probably give it, before it goes to its final runs, 3 or 4 further subsequent runs. I've got to spend a little bit of time now oiling the engine, because piston here, the oil tends to go straight to the bottom, so I'm just going to disconnect it, drop a load of oil in, and make sure the oiling cup has a good hefty supply of oil in there, just to keep things moving along. So shortly I'll have this one in steam, and we'll see if everything is working as it should be.